Magical Meetups. I'm Candace.
And I'm Nicole. This podcast is about growing and learning through discovery of all things metaphysical and supernatural.
Yo, yo, yo.
Hello.
Hello?
How's it going?
Hello? We are here.
The Hot Mess Express is back.
Right? Oh my God. Who let us do a podcast? Us, we let us. So if you have regrets,
We're sorry.
you're stuck now. We're sorry-ish. We're not really sorry. Sorry, not sorry. What are we going to talk about today?
Crystal basics.
Basics, because we could
talk
about
oh my gosh,
crystals.
that could be like a 5-hour thing.
Yeah.
Probably more. But like this one is going to be what I like to call like Crystal 101. Simple, basic care, how to choose a crystal.
Yeah, nothing deep.
No.
Because we could, listen guys, we could talk about crystals. We love shiny rocks. We could talk about them for hours and days. She literally owns a crystal shop. So I'm sure we could talk about them forever. But we don't need to. These are just the basics, the intros, a little taste. So
how will you choose your crystal?
How I do it?
Yeah, let's see how we both
choose them.
Yes.
Okay, I go into the store, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm overwhelmed.
Right, because there's all the pretty things.
There's so many. I'm like, okay, first I need to look at every single crystal in here.
Right.
If they're on a lower shelf, I usually don't bend over.
Why?
Because I'm lazy.
But what happens if you're missing the most important one?
Then my body would guide me down there for some
No,
strange
it wouldn't. Because
yes, it would.
Your brain would be like
muscle
no.
testing.
Oh yeah, true.
Muscle testing.
Yes, which is another thing we'll get into.
Yes.
But yeah, we're practicing that.
My muscles would automatically be like, for some odd reason, you need to bend down today.
She would fall down and be like, oh.
I slipped and fell. Oh no. Hey, pretty crystal. I'm getting this one.
I can't feel my knee anymore, but pretty crystal.
Exactly. So I make sure I look at all the things because I don't want to miss anything. And of course I miss things.
Right.
Because every time I come in, I feel like there's a new crystal.
There's something different.
That I haven't
or
seen.
Even if you make like a second lap around the store, like I feel like there's something that pops out.
Well, I'm like in there. I work at her store, by the way. And I'm in there. I'm like looking around, just minding my own business. And I'm like, wow, has this been here the whole time? And yes, it has. It's been there the whole time.
Probably from day one.
Yeah, and I'm just like, never seen this one before. Like, you've been around here 100 times, and there's a new crystal all the time.
Always.
So after I've done my laps, I think about what I'm needing it for. So am I anxious? Do I need it for a spell? Do I need a tumble? Do I need chips? Do I need jewelry? Like, what do I need? And then I look for those specifics. So if I need a tumble and I need it for anxiety, I try not to go towards the amethyst. I have way too many amethyst guys.
She always goes towards the amethyst.
It's a problem. Like, to the point I don't even like amethyst anymore because it keeps ending up in my pockets.
Always.
I don't like it. It's just too much. I have way too many. So that's how I pick them. I'm like, what do I need it for? What type of crystal do I need? And then, can I afford that?
Right.
Because some crystals are more expensive than others.
Right.
So some you got different sizes.
Types.
If it's a sphere, if it's a
Yeah.
point, like those are more expensive than just tumbles. Like, if you're doing it for a crystal grid, you would need a you would need a certain kind. If it's like, you have the little sphere crystal grid, so you would need spheres to put on the crystal grid. Like, you couldn't just put, you could just put a regular tumble, but it wouldn't work.
Be the same.
It wouldn't work. It wouldn't vibe correctly. So I think you would have to come in with like those decisions. Now, if you got the money,
right,
live your best life. If you got the money, go for it.
Yes. Now, see, like, when I go in, if I say don't know what I'm looking for, say if that's off the table, like, even money, like, if I just go in because I want something new, I have this, you're gonna make fun of me. I know you are.
Probably.
Yeah, yeah. I do it with bookstores, too.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. It's because I love all the things. And so I'll just walk around until I get that gut feeling. And And then I just know.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, then I have a conversation with myself. Why the hell would I need this?
Oh, so you try to talk yourself out of it.
Yeah, and then I'm like, but that's not pretty. And then my inside voice is like, but you need it.
Oh, and then you're like, oh, I don't like that one, but
so then I get two. I get that one
and a pretty, and then a pretty one. She's like, if I'm gonna get this one that I need, then I'm gonna get the pretty one.
Yes.
So I have been looking at that Thrylight.
Oh yeah,
Thrylight, I think.
Yeah.
It's like a pinkish crystal. I've been looking at it, but it's $8. Mm-hmm. And when I tell you, I've been pinching my pennies so I can get that $8 tumble, and it's just the tumble, guys, and it's $8. And I'm like, oh, I'm waiting. I'm waiting on that crystal.
When that one came into the store, it was like, oh my gosh, like it was so beautiful.
So
like, it
beautiful.
was just like it called. I don't even know why, but I had to have it.
100%. Yeah. Like I love that crystal. I look at it every single time.
Yeah.
And then you got to pick between all of the tumbles or all of the spheres or all of the points.
Some people, we have had somebody say, hey, can I move this down like on the rug? And we'll sit there and go through each one.
Like I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that though. Yeah. Like I respect it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to feel them.
Yes.
And then some people don't want to feel them. Like some people don't want to feel all of them. They just want to pick the one.
Right.
So.
And that also goes to show how important it is to cleanse your stuff. Because everyone is going through and feeling and so, I mean, it's very important to always make sure you cleanse your stuff because you never know who had a bad day and who touched what.
Well, and you never know who touched it and they were like, ew, I don't like this one.
Yeah.
Like, even that, like, little
that crystal is like, oh,
yeah, it's offended.
Yeah, maybe it has some emotional damage.
Emotional damage. I'll tell them that I love them all.
Okay, please do.
Because that's so sad.
No.
Sorry, guys, I'm walking.
And maybe it kind of makes me feel bad now because what if I was like, oh, I don't want this one, or why do I have to? I know. So now I'm going to be cautious.
Yeah, you should probably be nice to them.
I know, because they can make or break a day. I'm just
saying. They can. You got all that energy in there. It's either pulling people in or telling people to go. So I enjoy looking for crystals, but sometimes it's overwhelming.
Yeah, it can be, especially if you're new.
Yes.
Like, if you have no idea what you need, what all those things do, like, I remember going into my first crystal store, and I'm like, oh, it's so pretty, and I know I need to be in here, but I don't know what I want. Or
well, and there's like so I've seen like where they've had like crystal like beginner kits, and you just gotta check if the quality. So you gotta just kind of read the comments and make sure that they're quality crystals.
And sometimes, like, those are good kits. And please don't take this wrong, but sometimes look at what's in that kit, and they most likely have those crystals in the shop wherever you're at.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better to pick your own.
Yes.
Like, if you know what's in the crystal kit, just go check everything.
Kind of check the crystal kit, like, because they have them.
Yeah.
And some people aren't living near a crystal shop. This is the first crystal shop that's been within an hour of us.
Yeah.
Ever. Yeah. So there's never been one super close. We've always had to go at least an hour and a half away to get a crystal shop. So some people don't have that option, which totally respect it. I feel it. It's hard to get. Some people don't show that they're practicing, so they maybe they're not able to get to a place. Maybe things like that. And
because a lot of people are still, they're made to feel bad
yes,
going in, and that's so, it's mean and hateful. If you ever have made somebody feel that way, please say sorry. Like,
be a better person.
It's not even worth like treating people that way, because we don't have to tell people how to live.
Exactly. As long as you're not hurting yourself or hurting anybody else.
Don't throw a rock at their head, and everything's fine.
Exactly. Don't touch their third eye. That's weird. So I think that just doing what feels right to you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't get to a store and you really want to start your crystal collection, do one of those little beginner crystal kits.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're under witchy beginner kits, and they'll give like herbs and candles and crystals.
Just do
and
your research.
stuff.
Look at your reviews.
Yes,
If you
look
have
at
to do
reviews.
online stuff. Always
Yes.
look at reviews and just
Always look and see if like they actually sent that what
And
because
listen
some
to
spams.
your gut too.
Yes.
Sometimes if you're like, this is too good to be true, it might be.
Yes. And you can also order stuff online, like if people have photos of
Mm-hmm.
crystals and things like that. I've seen where some people have like online stores and they label like, this point is A, this point is B, this
that
point
way
is.
you can still pick.
You can pick,
Yeah.
but it's more of a you can get it sent to you kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like, don't ever feel like you have to physically make it in. Just like with the herb conversation, like you can get stuff where you can get stuff. You don't have to pick the most expensive, but you also don't have to pick,
Because let's
the
face
worst.
it, life is hard
Yes.
for a lot of people.
It is. Money is hard.
Yeah.
Eating is honestly
harder.
harder. It's more expensive now than like it was a year ago.
Yep.
So 100% do what is best for you.
Mm-hmm.
And look at the photos. Sometimes, looking at the photos can give you that kind of feel of, oh, I need this one.
Mm-hmm.
And even like, I feel like maybe if like, do you have the pictures of stuff on the shop page for the shop?
On like the website?
Yeah.
No, but that's like what it does.
Yeah.
That
Like
is a
you
good
can
idea.
you can like even look at descriptions and be
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, well this does this and this, or
That way you, like, especially if it's a beginner
yes,
looking, they don't have to go out of the store page,
Yes.
even if it's not my store, wherever you're at, like, hopefully
Yeah.
there is a description, and that way you can,
and like what it can help you with,
Yes.
or what you can use it for. Like if it's herbs, then you could always add like a little informational about the herbs
that's
or
a good idea.
stuff like that, so that people could understand what they're getting into, kind of situation.
Right.
So don't ever feel too stressed out when you're choosing a crystal. Just kind of whatever speaks to you.
Yes.
And I can tell you that sometimes the same crystal speaks to you
Like
multiple
amethyst.
times. I have at least 7 amethysts, and I'm not even lying.
Well, for some reason, which I can see this, you're hard-headed, and maybe you haven't learned the valuable lesson that amethyst is trying to show you.
Well, amethyst works for everything, so is that the valuable lesson?
It's probably because, I'm going to show you. Play
Yeah.
the guessing game.
It's like, which one will it be this time? So, the choosing your crystal on this page that we have, our little cheat sheet, it says opt for the crystal that is calling to you, which we do. Research crystals that will help you invoke what you need, which we do.
Yes. And that's always a good thing, especially if you're new to the crystal world.
Yes.
Or metaphysical shop world. Research what might be there. That way you kind of have an idea. Or if you know you want a crystal for anxiety, see what Google pops up so you know which ones to kind of look for.
And if you are confused, you can always go into that metaphysical shop and see like what they have to offer. And sometimes they have, yes, most are very helpful. Sometimes they might have to look up stuff. Like I still have to look up stuff because if people want things specific, like, grief, like I don't always get things that are like grief crystals,
Not
or
to mention there's like
47
500 million, yeah,
Yeah.
like crystals, and they all do different things, and so
Sometimes multiple things.
people are human, so sometimes I would rather look something up than tell somebody wrong.
Yes.
Always.
100%. I will
So.
always look it up or tell you that, unfortunately, I don't know, rather than lie to you. Because
I think I'd
that's
be
heartbreaking.
Yes, especially, like, God forbid, like, we actually had somebody come into our store and had a crystal, and they're like, I bought this at this place, and they said that it was this. And I said, no, unfortunately, that crystal is, I don't even remember what it was. I think it was moss agate or something like that, and they sold it as aventurine. Like,
no,
and I'm
yeah.
like, you can't give people false hope, because those things do certain things, and that's what they need it for. So,
and they were invoking that on that.
Yes.
They were expecting that kind of energy,
yes.
and that's like messed up to do that. Also, if you're new to the crystal world, there are crystal, rock, and mineral shows, and they're amazing.
Yes.
If you got money, I mean, even if you don't have money, they're beautiful to look at.
And very helpful. Like,
very helpful. Yes. They know things.
Yes.
And they can tell you, they have like fossils, they have minerals, they have rocks, they have crystals, they have raw form. Yes, like, they have everything. Some of them have like rocks that are still in water, because the rocks have to be in the water, because that's like, I don't know, but it was wild.
Were they pretty?
They were so pretty. Yeah, everything was so pretty. They had people that could do like jewelry right there, like custom jewelry with those stones. Wow. Like, it was wild. So if you ever see a rock, mineral, crystal show coming towards you, it's usually rock and gem shows. That's what they're called. Rock, gems, and minerals, or it's crystals. But they are so awesome. So definitely go see them if you can.
For sure. So how would you store your crystals?
So it depends on which crystals. Okay, so there are some soft and hard crystals. They should be stored separately so that the soft crystals don't get scratched.
Right.
I always store my raw and tumble crystals separately.
Right.
So I don't particularly like raw. I do not like raw. Shout out to Joanna, who loves raw crystals. I don't. I prefer tumbled. But if I do get raw, I will never put them together.
Right. And, like, raw is okay, like, for statement pieces.
Yes.
Or, like, if you want it, in your room next to your bedside table.
Yeah.
Or something. But, like, tumble, like, those are the only ones I take with me. Like,
yes.
On a daily, like.
Yes. And because they can go together. And not really, like, they're not so, I don't know. Also, raw gets off a lot more, I think. You want the vibes for you with tumbled, and the raw is just more radiant, I feel like. But also, excuse me, I got something on my throat. I separate them, but I also separate sizes of crystals.
Well, that's because you're OCD.
So I don't put, like, my spheres with my tumbles.
Well, that makes sense.
Because, it might mess it up. But.
And another way, which I just made fun of you, but we're so much alike. It's okay. I like to store them by color.
Oh, OCD?
Yeah. I'm sorry. So, but you can look at it, or you can do by chakra, which a lot of times they are the same color.
Yes. So that makes sense. Yeah. I'll let it pass. If you have beautiful jewelry, like the wrapped jewelry, you can always. I put them, like, I have a. It's like like a triangle, and it's like where it hangs on the wall, and it has the moon phases on it, and then there's little spots for me to put my crystals.
Right.
Well, then there's little hangers on the bottom, so I hang my necklaces.
That way it's
and
not
bracelets. Yeah. But if you don't, you can always put it in a bag, like a soft bag or a satin bag,
like a wooden
box. Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. Just kind of, even putting something a little softer in the bottom of the wooden box. Not just throwing it down.
Right. That way it's not scruffing it.
Yes, scuffing it.
Yeah, exactly.
That word.
I made it up. So, what are some ways that we can use crystals? Because that's a big question.
So many ways.
Like, people are always like, well, what do they do, or how can you even use them? That people, especially beginner people, like, they just don't understand, like, and I'm going to be honest, like, before I got into all this, like, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of ways you can use it.
So, you can literally do, okay, your body.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to try to break it down into locations.
Okay.
So, you can carry them on your body. You can carry them in your purse.
Mm-hmm.
You can put them in your car. You can put them on, in your pocket.
Under your pillow.
There's worry stones that you can rub, kind of help with that anxiety. You can place them beside your body, like when you're sleeping, so under your pillow, under your bed, on your nightstand, like in the vicinity of your body. When you're showering, make sure they're water safe, but you can put them in your shower. So when you're cleansing your body, you have like a cleansing crystal. Like, so many ways.
So, and another way too is decoration.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people are like, and that's how I explain, especially to the beginner friendly type, they're like, these are really pretty, but I don't know what to do with it. So like at the shop we have trees.
Oh, yeah.
So like something like that you can put on your coffee table or dining room coffee table.
Yeah,
Gosh, why can't I use my words? You've rubbed off on me today. So like you can put it there and it's still going to be around.
Yeah, it's going to be in this space.
And it looks pretty. Like where people would be like, oh, that's a cute little decoration. Especially if you're kind of shy about practicing or...
Yeah.
It could just be a decor type thing.
Well, and I've seen people who aren't even into crystals wear like necklaces or like things. I'm like, or bracelets. Like,
and I can't say half of them. Some of them have no idea. They're like, this is so beautiful.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's a cute, aventurine necklace, or oh, that's a cute, rose quartz necklace. They're like, what? And I'm like, the crystal?
Oh.
And they're like, oh, I just thought it was cute. I was like, oh, okay. Well, if weird things are happening, we all know why. Like, because you're crystals. But you can hold them during meditation too.
Oh.
And you can help them with, like, when you're doing your chakra checks. You can do that. Those crystal brown things we were talking about that you sell at the shop.
Oh yeah, the little
disc.
Disc thing.
Yeah, you can use those and put them on your body, or when you're thinking about it, hold it in your hand.
You want to know what my most favorite thing is?
What?
I use them in my plants.
Yes.
If you walk into the living room, you'll see most of them, my potted plants inside. I usually don't do it outside, but you totally can outside. I just don't I'm afraid to lose them. Or forget where to put it. That's just me, because I know I'm forgetful. But all my potted plants...
You need that
inside,
rosemary, right?
I know. All my potted plants always get a crystal.
Well, and if it helps you, obviously it would help the plants grow. Yeah. But when you're doing this, just make sure that your crystal won't, if it gets wet from watering your plants, it won't dissolve. Or if you put it out in the garden, make sure that it won't get sun bleached or things like that.
Even when I'm watering, unless it's clear quartz or something like that, sometimes I'll just take it out and then water it, because I'm OCD like that, and I have a system.
Yeah. Well, and you can create a crystal grid. You can put your crystals on your altar. You can put crystals as an offering to your deity, your God, your spirit, ancestors, spirit guides, whoever. So you can use crystals that way. You can use them during yoga practice. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
I didn't even think about that. You can use them in your water.
Yes, you can.
So when you're making moon water, you can always put crystals in them that are water safe.
I believe it's shungite people use to purify their drinking water.
Really?
Yes. I had a lady come in and she bought a lot of it at the shop because she's like, I use it all the time. Like,
really?
Of course she cleanses it, before putting it into her water. But
yeah,
yeah, very interesting.
You can put them into your oils, your tinctures, your candles. You do that a lot.
Yeah.
Elixirs. You can use them when you're doing divination. You can use them for grounding. You can charge one crystal or cleanse one crystal with another crystal.
Some good old selenite.
Good old selenite. But if you get selenite, watch out.
Don't put it outside.
Don't put it outside.
And
don't put it in water. It will not exist anymore.
Yeah.
Also, if you get the raw selenite, like, it can break off.
Yes.
Just like with tourmaline. If you get raw tourmaline, it can break off also. So just be careful with some of the raw stuff. They'll shard. They'll do shards. What else? What else about crystals?
Did you know, like everything in our practice, you can have crystal substitutions?
Yes. So there are so many substitutions that you can do. I feel like if we talk about the one all, is 100% clear quartz.
Yes.
Can substitute for any crystal.
And it can enhance any crystal. Like if you put it with something, it'll enhance that other crystal's ability.
Yes.
But there are so many, like we would talk all day if we went through each one that you could replace another one with.
Yeah, like, and there's some that like both of them can replace the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So Amazonite and aventurine can replace each other.
Right.
So if you don't have Amazonite, you can use aventurine. If you don't have aventurine, you can use Amazonite.
Yeah.
But also, if you don't have either one of them, you can do clear quartz.
Right.
But if you do have one of them and the clear quartz, it would amplify it. Not advance it, amplify it. So, like, don't ever feel like you're stuck if you can't find a crystal, or maybe one crystal is more expensive than the other, and you need to kind of get the cheaper option.
And that's when Google helps
Yes.
a lot. Or
Yes.
there's apps, I'm sure, too, that you can get where you can look up certain things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've looked at Google like, well, I don't have carnelian with me. What can I use?
Yeah, or I'm already using my red jasper and, this spell or working. What can I use in this spell or working? Or, I don't have chips of obsidian, so, what can I use? You know what I mean? So, like, very much different options for you. Don't ever feel boxed in.
We don't like being boxed in.
No, even though we're in a room that's a box.
Literally a box.
Literally a box.
So, I kind of want to touch on, there are crystals for each chakra.
Yes.
But I'm not going to bore everybody by reading each and every one of them. But they are, like, if you want to work on your heart chakra, there are specific crystals that will help with that.
So, can we do your favorite and my favorite for each of them?
One, that's a great idea.
Okay, so crown chakra. What would be your favorite?
Moonstone or labradorite?
Labradorite or howlite?
See, like, it's just that flash.
Stop! Get out of my head.
It.
And howlite looks so fake.
It does.
It looks like marble, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so beautiful. I love the cracks of gray in the white, and labradorite's flash is wild.
Oh wait, lepidolite's here too. That's my go-to. I love that one.
Oh, okay.
I love all of them.
She loves all the crown chakra ones. Okay, third eye. I like aventurine or fluorite. Angelite, sodalite. Oh my gosh, all the lights.
I know. I like celestite. Is that how you say
Yeah.
celestite? That one's really pretty, raw or tumbled. I love both of those.
So many options.
I know.
Okay, throat. Sodalite. Ooh, blue lace agate.
I like
turquoise.
lazuli.
Lapis lazuli.
Because it has that little sparkle in it.
A little sparkle.
Like, here you go. Sprinkle some sparkle on that shit. Like, it's just pretty.
Heart chakra. Rhodonite. All the time. Malachite also.
I like rose quartz, of course. That has to be your go-to.
No, it doesn't have to be your
It does
go-to.
not have to.
Rhodonite could be your go-to, and malachite.
I love malachite.
The swirls in it is just so pretty.
I know. And they're also unique.
Yes, so unique. Solar plexus, which is the yellow that's between your heart and your belly button chakras.
I like the rutilated quartz is really pretty. It's like gorgeous because each one has different little growth patterns in it.
I would say moonstone or topaz. Topaz is our birthstone. So, I mean, it looks like pee, but what can you do?
I know, right?
I mean, what can you do?
Sacral.
Sacral chakra, your belly button, tiger's eye, all the way, 100%.
Sunstone for me.
100. I have so much tiger's eye. It's so beautiful. It's like malachite with the swirls and the prettiness, but just a different color. Yeah. They're beautiful. The root chakra.
Ooh, I know what you're gonna pick.
Red jasper.
Yep.
Oh, black obsidian though.
I know.
Red jasper and black obsidian and bloodstone.
Bloodstone is very
Bloodstone
beautiful.
is so pretty. The red against the green, and it's dark forest green and a bright red.
And each one's unique.
So
like they're
beautiful.
not like.
That's the beautiful thing about crystals. They're all unique. I love it. So they're cleansing the crystals.
Oh,
It's a whole thing, guys.
It is, and there's so many different ways.
So many.
You can use sea salt, like put some sea salt down, take in a bowl.
Yeah.
And set your crystals in there. You can cleanse them that way.
You can also, if you were here for the herbs section, you can add some of them herbs into it to enhance the cleansing effects.
And it would be pretty.
Yes.
So pretty.
You can put some basil in there or some lavender, dried, obviously. But that will help in the salt. But check if it's okay to be in salt.
True, because crystals are so
finicky.
Some can't be in salt. Some can't go in water. Some can't go in sunlight. So please check.
Running water. So, and I think the running water is just like how we, with our bodies, just that running it off. So you can hold the crystal under running water and ask the universe to remove all the negative energy.
I like
or
it.
Imagine the negative energy falling
off.
in and going to the drain.
You can use other crystals like selenite.
Selenite, clear quartz, too.
Ooh, and then keep crystals associated with purification, like carnelian.
And clear quartz. Yes.
That's so cool.
To cleanse them. So instead of, like, I have a selenite bowl. So I put some, if I got new crystals, then I put them in there. But you can keep your selenite bowl around your crystals. Or two, you can put them by carnelian and clear quartz and just amplify that thought of cleansing them continuously. Sunlight and moonlight.
I know. Sunlight, I don't do.
I don't do it either.
Moonlight, I don't really cleanse my crystals in the moonlight, but I will charge my crystals in the moonlight.
Yeah, I don't cleanse my crystals by moon, nor do I charge them by the moon. If I'm being honest.
Yeah. I guess you
could not find all my crystals if I wanted to because they're everywhere. But my room is open to the sun, like to the moon. So I guess the moon rays could come into my room and like charge them. But you have to be so careful in the sun. If you leave them past the moon and into the sun, you just need to make sure that you know which ones you're putting out
and
there.
I know this sounds really silly to say, but those crystals get extremely hot. If they're outside in the sunlight, you may not think they will, but they are extremely hot.
Yeah. So you really just need to watch them. If you're good and you're good about the sun one, then like live your best life, but just be like aware and be careful. Yeah. Fire. You can pass through a candle flame or allow the sacred smoke from the cleansing herbs to surround your crystal and carry the negative energy away.
I do that.
I have never put my crystals in fire.
No.
Nah, not in the fire, but in the smoke.
Yeah, in the smoke from the fire.
Yes.
Like, I do that.
But not in the fire. You can also use sound.
Yes.
So you can ring a bell. You can do kind of a sound wave or anything like, I don't know, a specific sound that hurts that you need to do. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube music or whatever. But find that sound, or I use a bell. I just ring a bell to cleanse things.
And you cleanse with breath.
I do cleanse with breath. When I forget to do things, or if somebody touches my crystal, like if I go, oh my gosh, look, hey, I have a pretty crystal. And then they pick it up out of my hand without asking me.
Which is another Crystal 101. Please don't touch other people's crystals.
Don't touch other people's crystals unless you ask. It's just like a service dog or an emotional support animal.
Right.
You don't freaking touch them unless you ask.
And sometimes the answer is no, even when you ask.
Exactly. If somebody says
okay.
no, respect it, okay? Respect the person's service dog, respect the person's emotional support animal, and respect my emotional support crystal, okay? Don't touch it because your energy will throw it off.
Yes.
And then I got to breathe on it with my hot breath to get all your negative energy off.
Or what we perceive as
negative. Or, you might not be negative, but...
But we automatically, if someone touches our crystals, we're like, oh, the world's ending.
Yes. It's like the etiquette of not touching people's third eye. You just don't do some things, okay, guys?
I think we're going to do a podcast on things you don't do.
Yes, etiquette in metaphysical life.
We need to do it. We're going to start.
We're going to start just adding things down and writing them down about all the things that you should and shouldn't do.
And we'll explain why.
Yes.
Like for each thing, we'll go into like why you shouldn't touch a crystal or why you shouldn't walk up and touch somebody's third eye.
Yes. Don't be a weirdo, guys. Be respectful. Back to the regularly scheduled cleansing podcast. Burying.
I would forget.
She's like a squirrel that buries acorns.
Yeah.
She grows a whole new crystal tree, but doesn't know where it came from. It came from you burying it.
Yeah, no, I would totally forget.
So you bury the crystals in the earth, and then you leave it overnight to restore the crystal's energy. Because it came from the earth, so that makes sense.
And I think it would be a really good thing to do.
Yeah.
I really do, and I think that I would want to try it.
I think what you should do is get, instead of like just one of your potted plants, and get not like soil that you got from the store, like get some from your backyard or your side yard. Put that like with some grass into it, and then bury them in that specific one.
So I don't have to dig up the whole yard.
So you don't have to dig up the whole yard, and so you don't forget.
Okay.
And then that little spot that you got it from will grow back.
So
be fine.
Sorry, Scott.
Shout out to Scott dealing with us.
So when are you supposed to cleanse your crystals?
All the time. No, I'm just kidding. When you get new ones.
Yes.
So if you come to the shop, like, take it home and cleanse it. And if
because it's new to you doesn't mean that it doesn't have energy.
Yeah, and even if you get it like in the mail, it's like, so let's say you bought it from somebody somewhere else and you get it in the mail, they may have cleansed it. I've seen plenty of video of crystal owners that have sent crystal shop owners.
And I think that's very respectful.
Yes.
And nice. It's just like a nice, like.
Yes. But think about this. When it left their hands, yes, it was beautiful. It was crystal, like it was clean. It's crystal clear. But it has gone to the post office. It has been touched by all the post people. It has been put into the FedEx car or on a plane.
That FedEx person was
he
mad
was pissed
because
about that
hot.
day. Exactly. And then he had to deliver your damn crystal. And he tired of it. You didn't even leave no snacks for him.
Shout out to my UPS driver. I'm
Yes.
just saying, I'm going to tell him he needs to listen to our podcast.
You should leave snacks for him.
I should, because that man has to deliver, like, stuff for the shop.
Oh,
like, so
yeah.
you know, like, they are
That's
heavy.
a lot.
Yeah, so shout out to him.
You should give him snacks.
I
Or like
should.
a gift card.
To the crystal shop.
To the crystal shop. That'd be hilarious. He's like, what do I do with this? Like, what the hell? So, how many, like, is it the same person that does it?
Yeah, he is the one that does this area. So he's.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, he's like.
So yeah, you should definitely give him something.
And it's funny because like when I'm expecting a package and he's running late, when he shows up, I'm like, "You're behind." And he's like, "I'm sorry."
That's hilarious. Yes, this poor man deserves a snack and a drink
We're
and
gonna
all
get you
kinds
some
of stuff.
snacks.
Yes. You can also clear it with your intentions. Like, when you're having bad intentions or bad vibes, you can cleanse it because your intentions aren't pure.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right.
I might have said that wrong.
Well, I know what you mean, I think. Because, like, say if you're having a bad day.
Yeah.
And all of those bad thoughts are now into your crystals.
Yes,
so if you had a
yes.
stressful day, you might want to cleanse your
Yes,
stuff.
when you get home. Like,
Yes.
cleanse yourself and cleanse your crystals,
Yeah.
too, kind of. Because if you're carrying it on you, you know, your worry rock or, you know, your pouch of crystals for that day, like,
Right.
try to cleanse yourself and the crystals just so you don't carry that over.
This is so interesting to me. After special events like lunar eclipse, full moon, and the new moon, I've always cleansed them before charging them. Like, so if I know it's a full moon, I will cleanse my crystals and then charge them. I never cleanse them after because I don't want to take away.
But what if it's chaotic? Like, the moon is in whatever.
If I hear any of that, I don't put them out. And then I cry about it for 2 months because I gotta wait for the next full moon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. Oh, by the way, you can also visualize and meditate to cleanse your crystals. So you don't necessarily have to physically have something. Like, you can just visualize it.
Right. And so don't ever, like, you guys will hear us talk about it. Don't feel like you're in a box ever. So if maybe you don't have any money to go buy something to cleanse it with.
Yeah. Maybe
you're
running outside in your pajamas trying to get stuff in the moon, and you gotta
AKA us.
and you gotta do breath cleansing. Like, you put your hot breath on that.
Yeah,
like,
it's okay.
It's fine. Or just visually do it. If you're in a place where you don't feel comfortable cleansing it, but you know that you need to cleanse yourself or your crystal, visualize it.
Yeah.
Just
I
think
do
about
that
it.
a lot, like at work, when I know I can't really, especially if I know I need to ground, I will just visualize it.
Yeah, rather than like other people finding out.
Yeah.
So there are so many that need to avoid sunlight, avoid water, avoid salt, all kinds of things. So make sure, again, you just look up all those things. But I thought was really like fun fact, fluoride, you should avoid water, but especially seawater. or salt water, sorry.
That's interesting.
So, like, salt plus water is extra bad for fluoride. So, I didn't know that. It's very interesting. I like it.
I like all the things.
I love all the crystal things. It makes me happy. So, what's next on our...
So, charging. We're going to talk about how or what we can use to charge our crystals. Now that we cleansed everything, how do we charge them?
Well, the easiest and simplest one, simplified, guys. I'm making up new words. The simplest way is visualizing.
Every podcast, there's a new word created.
Exactly. I've just created new words every time. So, obviously, visualization. Mm-hmm. You can do so much with just visualizing. I cleanse my tarot deck that way. I do all kinds of stuff.
Do you charge your stuff that way too?
My tarot deck?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm like the battery for my tarot deck. And that is specifically for me.
Right.
Don't ever think that has to be the way for you. I carry my tarot deck with me everywhere. It's always in my purse. It's always on me. It's not with me right now, which sometimes it stays at home.
So, like, in a way, you're almost the battery for them, too.
Yeah.
Like, it's vice versa. Like,
yeah, I charge my tarot deck, and my tarot deck charges me sometimes. Yeah. But I also have moon pickles that charge me, too. They make me buzz. So, but yeah, I'm always with my tarot deck. Unless, like, I take my wallet and I gotta run somewhere.
Right.
Like, then, but it's always in my purse or always on me some way.
So, I always just use the moonlight.
Or
the other crystals. I have a selenite plate that I'll set them on. But usually I do that for cleansing, but apparently it charges too.
Yeah. So, honestly, I feel like we always think of selenite as cleansing the crystals. Mm-hmm. I don't ever think of it as charging them, but they charge too. Cool. So also
amethyst is also capable of charging.
Oh my gosh.
You're welcome.
The worst. You can charge by elements.
Water.
Yes, we
talked
about
of course.
Water safe ones. You can do it in the natural water. Natural water meaning like not tap water. Like purified water. And then moon water. You can do earth, which is burying. So most of these things, you can do them to cleanse them and charge them. Air, running it through the smoke. Mm-hmm. Fire, light a candle and pass it through. But I don't like that. But there is a point where it says visualize fire energy rising into your crystals. So I think that would be more of the...
And I think it kind of depends on what feels good to you. Like,
yes.
Us, we're like, okay, it has to be full moon. Like,
yeah.
To my soul, like, I feel like that's the only time my crystals are full, full energy.
The battery is full.
Yes, but, like, somebody else might be like, oh, no, I just use selenite, and that's how it makes me feel, and that's okay.
Yeah. So you're valid. We love you.
So, this one is super important because I wish somebody would have read this to me when I first started. Mm-hmm. Setting intentions with crystals. And I'm going to read step by step for them because I feel like that's important.
That is important.
So, step 1, connect with the right crystal, which we already talked about, how to find your right crystal. And then step 2, cleanse and clear that crystal. Step 3, set your intentions and activate. So when you think about that one, if you got a crystal for anxiety, that intention will be, this crystal will allow me not to have anxiety.
Or to lessen my anxiety in social settings or, different, like, specific things that you feel... Like, because the crystal's never going to take away the full anxiety. No. So don't get that twisted.
Yeah.
You're still going to be anxious.
Yeah.
But it will help with feeling so high. Right. That anxiety's so high.
I do that when I know it's going to sound stupid now. Public speaking and podcast is kind of the same, but it's just me and you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not talking in front of, like, a room full of people.
Yeah.
But I still will have soda light with me. Mm-hmm. All the time because it'll help with your throat chakra, and so like it doesn't go away. You're absolutely right, but it helps.
Yeah, and even if sometimes thinking about it and you're like, I mean, I don't know if this will work. Just take it. It might help, it might not.
And like I explained to some of the people that are that way, they're like, I don't really know. I said, what would it hurt if you have this stone and say you're anxious that day and you're rubbing it and it gets your mind off of being anxious?
Yeah.
So even if in your head you think, well, maybe it's just a distraction, it wasn't the crystal, that's okay.
Yeah.
It served its purpose.
Exactly. It did something for you.
Step 4.
Step 4.
Reaffirm your intention.
So just making sure you're clear with your intention and what you want from it. And then the last one,
keep them close.
So I've seen TikToks where it's been like, and bras, yes. And your pockets, and your shoe, like you keep them close. I have in my purse, I have different bags of different sets of crystals for different things. So I have like a travel bag, like a travel crystal one for like when we're driving. I have one that's like for other stuff. So just make sure that you are doing what you need.
Whatever feels good for you.
Yes, feels good for you and keeps you happy. Crystal shapes. There's so many crystal shapes, guys. I love some and hate others.
Yeah, definitely.
So there is the cluster, which the cluster is just like crystals that are clustered together. It radiates unity throughout the space and charges other crystals. Excuse me, sorry.
And then pyramid.
I don't really like the pyramids.
I don't either, to be honest.
I like the ones that you have with the different things in them. It's the resin pyramids.
Like the
Those
Oregon.
are cool.
They are.
But I wouldn't.
Yeah. And then, of course, you have your points.
Points are cool because they can help you concentrate and direct that energy for that specific. So if you get a amethyst point and you want it to be for helping with anxiety, like it can point to that direction of having less anxiety, right. Kind of a direction for it. Cube. Do you like the cube ones? I like the ones that on the 4 sides and it's flat
and then it can spin.
Yeah,
those are cool.
That is cool to me. I don't particularly just get cubes.
I don't either. Usually I might get a point or something like that, but I don't know.
Oh, we forgot to tell you about the pyramid. Pyramid is for anchoring crystals, and they are powerful for manifesting desires. So maybe we need to get on that.
Maybe.
Cubes are for consolidating energy, grounding, and meditation, and connection to energy of the earth. But I think cubes are cool when they're not just square. When right. like they have like they're sitting on one of the points and the one point is flat, so it looks like it's like hovering. Yeah. Or when they spin. I feel like they're cool when they're not just a square.
Right.
Double terminated. They absorb negative energy, break down old patterns, and promote psychic abilities. I did not know that.
I did not.
So that one is the one with the point on both ends, which I did not know that, which I don't think I have any.
I don't either.
The twins, that is double, like they're points that are stuck together. It's just 2 of them. Grounding and harmonizing energy, balancing yin and yang energies. Nice. Night and day, good and bad, moon and sun.
Right. And then we have the egg shape, which is for healing, fertility, and balance.
Because, babies come out in eggs.
Yeah.
LOL. If you know, you know.
And then we have spheres. Emit energy equally from all directions. Ideal for
scrying.
Thank you. I knew I would murder that word.
I love spheres. I have
beautiful.
Some very beautiful spheres, and I love them. I love them so much. I have not tried scrying yet.
I have not either.
I would like to. Druzy It's when it's like kind of raw and it looks like it's not as clear as a cluster, but it's druzy. They're to purify and amplify body's natural healing properties, charging, relaxation, and harmony.
Nice.
So there can be drusies in points. There can be drusies in, a sphere, or there can be drusies in other things. It can be a little cut out. You have some at the shop and everything.
Even in like tumble.
Even tumble, they can be drusies in them, but then there can just be a druzy.
Yeah. And then we have wand.
I have one.
Do you?
I have a selenite wand.
And these are wonderful for healing and rituals, moving, directing energy.
So when I cleanse my house, I use my wand to be like, get on out, like towards the front of my door. Like I direct all of that energy, negativity, any of that out my front door. So I definitely use my wand a lot. Geodes.
They're pretty. But I don't have any at all because I'm always so like, you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah. I won one at a Rock and Mineral show. It was a door prize and I won it.
Oh, good.
And so it was free.
Right.
It was really pretty inside, but it looks like a regular rock on the outside. But I do like the flat, thin geodes that you have.
Right.
Like the little plates of geodes. They're really cool.
Yeah.
And then Isis?
Which looks just like a point, but
I
think it's smaller.
Yes, I think it's just a smaller point. Feminine energy, healing emotional hurt and distress. So I haven't heard of that one before.
I haven't either. I thought a point was a point.
I also thought a point was a point, but apparently they have different sizes, guys.
Right.
So we don't know everything, even though we like lots of rocks.
But we're learning with you.
Exactly. And that's the whole point of our podcast. Y'all gonna get tired of us saying that. But I feel like it's our slogan.
I know.
It's our thing. We gotta let the people know. Because what if they've never heard us before?
Right.
Well, if this is the first one that pops up.
And if it's, the 10th one you've listened to, we're sorry.
Yeah, if it's the 10th one, thank you for sticking with us.
Yeah.
It's probably just our homies in real life that are the only ones that have listened.
You gotta start somewhere.
You have to start somewhere.
Yep.
So hopefully this helped you.
And we'll be back next time with shadow work.
I'm still stressed out about that, y'all. I'm still stressed out about it. But it's going to be eye-opening, and now I have to do it.
Yeah, because you told them, and I reminded them, and you're welcome.
Yeah, I feel like personally attacked right now by you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.